back here at Stop Logic Motorsports, and we're doing another beginner's guide to bike care. What are we doing today? Well, we got a couple of freshly cleaned air filters, which I covered in another video, and we're going to oil them. And I've got two types of oil so you can kind of see both oiling methods. We have a Bel-Ray filter oil, the squeeze-in kind, and then we have Maxima spray-on. So your question will be, well, which one's better? Well, quite honestly, either method will work. You're going to get a little messy with both. I'd say the squeeze-in filter oil is easier to get a more even application, but it also makes it a lot easier to over-oil your filter. So we're going to use the spray-on with this funnel web filter because, yeah, this thing's pain to clean. I mean, that WR product stuff did do a good job of cleaning it, but it's still kind of a headache. Oh goodness, yeah, I need to empty out the rest of that gas. Anywho, so for our first filter, we're going to take a Ziploc bag, and we're going to take said filter and stuff it in the bag. And then we're going to take, let's see. I use about, it's really hard to tell, I use about 150 to 200 milliliters of oil every time. I'm going to go for about 100 in here. Oh, look at that. Blah. Just blah, right into the filter. And then a little bit on the side of it, blah. So we're right about 100 milliliters. This stuff is super tacky. And pretty much the way you keep your hands clean on this one is you take it and just massage the filter into the bag until it looks like the whole thing is blue. And you're gonna ask, since it might be your first time doing this, how often do I have to do this to my bike? Well, that's a good question. And that really depends on what kind of conditions you ride in. If you ride in a lot of dusty, sandy conditions, you might have to do this every single ride. And you'll know that it looks bad. Well, first off, your bike will start telling you it feels a little bad being all choked up. It'll start idling wonky and inexplicably running extra lean or extra rich, like farty and poppy. And you'll pull the filter out and it'll look like it's completely covered in a nice small film of dust. That lets you know, take it out and clean it. We got a pretty good application here. We're going to add a little more oil. And there's another trick I do to this after I pop the filter in like so. What I'll do is I'll Ziploc the bag nearly all the way shut. And then I'll put something heavy on top of it. You could also achieve the same thing with a vacuum sealer. Basically, you put something heavy on top of it and it mashes the oil into all of your crevices so you have a nice even coating. And if you over oil it, well, not the best thing to do. It will run a bit lean. But what you'll generally tend to do is once you get done oiling, you'll squeeze out any excess. In my case, I add just enough oil to permeate all the surfaces of the filter, so generally you won't have to do the step of squeezing out the excess. So yeah, I'm almost nice and uniformly distributed. And when you squeeze it, don't wring it, don't twist it, just give it a good little cuddle here. Wad it up like you're doing a washcloth. That's really about the only spot down there that's still misbehaving, so we're going to fold it in on itself where we have an area with a lot of oil and squeeze through. Just knead it in like you're making pizza dough. If you ever did one of those Chef Boyardee pizza kits, It's like you're kneading some dough. Just work it on in there. See, we got another corner here that could use a little love, so we're gonna tuck it into a area with a lot of goop in it. Give it a good little squeeze, and we don't really have any excess coming out of here. This thing is like really sucking up most of what I'm throwing down. Now you can probably, if you're in a hurry, you can skip the step of zipping it down and flattening it, like pressing out all the air. But I have a couple of weeks before the race, and honestly I have 3 filters on my KTM, so I mean, I'm not hurting. They're nice and flat. Zip it shut. I'm gonna put it under something heavy inside the house, but you kind of get the idea. And that's voila, you've now oiled the filter. And once this stuff dries, now after you've kind of squished it down for a little bit, once it dries, you know, let it air out and get tacky. This stuff will get very, very tacky, hard to remove. So that's how you do it with squeeze on. Now I'm gonna do some spray on. Personally, I like, shake this thing for a minute. I like to do the inside first, so I have a nice surface to grip on the outside. I still get messier and I'll get out. If you want to get this stuff off of your hands, hot water, Dawn, and Gojo does the trick. Or if you've got contact cleaner, you can use brake cleaner, but that actually is carcinogenic. You can use contact cleaner, electronic parts cleaner, to kind of get the initial goo off. So anywho, you spray it distance of about 6 inches till it changes color to the color of your filter oil. Kind of get in there, get all your nooks and crannies. Personally, I think the squeeze in stuff's a little bit more accurate, but kind of get the idea. It's really hard to hit those nooks and crannies in there. Alright, anywho. Then you coat the outside till it's blue. And on these funnel web filters, they take a whole lot of oil. The trade-off being that you don't have to change them as much, supposedly, because you have more surface area. Now this one, unless you wear rubber gloves, you will get messy. So once you spray it, you work it in. Now this one, the advantage to the spray on is that it's ready to go a lot quicker. You can really just spray it and leave it out, and it'll tacky up here in like 15 minutes. Needs a little more juice on the side by the mating surface. And that's how you do it with spray. As I said though, I personally think that the squeeze-in stuff... See, it's already getting tacky. Look at that. I think the squeeze-in stuff's a little bit more of a safeguard against wonky things going on. I'm gonna leave this in my shop. We've been having a lot of trash blow into our yard, so I'm just collecting it, waiting for bag and trash day. Ugh. And you sit it on a surface that, it's not going to be high traffic. So it's there and go up, and here we have electronic parts cleaner. I don't recommend this all the time, but it's really good for getting that initial off of there. It's also cold as all heck. The no toil biodegradable filter oil, which I also recommend. Make sure you get the one that's for universal filters, not just no toil. It's mostly clean. But they have this like powdery stuff that you use that you massage into your oil. Oh yeah, that's the $300. We're working on some more mods for that soon. And the little powder actually takes this stuff off real quick. I'll show you kind of what it looks like. I'm out of the oil, so that's where we're at. Okay, so we're back, and here's that filter cleaner outside of the no toil stuff. Stuff is great. Wait for my water to get a little warm. But how you'll do it is you'll put like a half a cup in to a sink full of hot water, and it plugged up, and you just wash your filter in it with the no toil stuff only. This stuff doesn't work great on the other oils like the WR products. But for hand washing, you put a palm-sized amount in, you rub it on your hands till it's kind of evenly applied, and it feels like it's going to start burning, then you just wash. And even the non-no toil brand oil will generally start to get up off of there. And we'll use a little bit of Dawn to finish it up to get rid of the last residual stickiness, oiliness. And voila, that's Filter Care 101. So you've already seen the other video that showed me greasing the surface, the mating surface, to make sure no oil or dirt ingress happens to your engine. And that's basically all there is to it. Just, you know, keep an eye on your filter, clean it, and change it whenever you have a chance. Well, hopefully you found this helpful. If you like it, like and subscribe. If you don't, criticize me harshly. Have a good